Okay, folks, welcome to Matrix Live. It is demo day. In fact, it's not demo day. This is the very first Matrix Live demos where we're actually putting together two different demo sessions. And the reason for this is we used to do demos every month. We did it last Friday of the month. And we got to the point where we had so many great demos that we couldn't fit them all in. So what we do now is we do them every 2 weeks, and then we sort of mash them together. Some combination of Dave and Ben are going to do a kind of weird deep fake video reconstruction thing, and it's all going to look smooth and wonderful and everything else. So let's dive right in. Oh, I should give you our lineup. We have Travis is going to talk to us about widgets. A lot of stuff's been going on there, and he's going to try and sort of collect it all together and explain what on earth that is. Bruno is going to talk about Matrix.to, or Matrix.to, I should say. Halfshot is going to migrate you from Slack to EMS. And Will, I think it'll be Will's first time on demos, is going to talk to us about spec. Right, so Travis, are you ready?
I hope so. I will try sharing my screen, and hopefully I will pick the right one. Assuming I clicked all the right buttons, you should be staring at an element.
I am.
Cool. So over the summer, I believe, we did another one of these demos where we talked a lot about widgets and some of the new capabilities coming for them. So this is just sort of what we've also been doing so far. So widgets are a lot more capable now. For instance, if I just add my little task list widget here, first thing it does is it asks, can it remain on screen? I'm going to let it do that because it's really cool for this demo. Just in the sense of, I can click this and then go over to some random company chat, and I still have the task list here, and I can add new tasks if I want, that sort of stuff. And yeah, so that's like a relatively simple widget. The modal stuff here, like this is yet another widget that allows you to basically ask the user for more information about what, sort of tasks or meetings or whatever sorts of stuff that they might want to include in the widget, and then the information is passed right back to the widget, so it can do whatever it wants with it. Yeah, just as a sort of more capable demo in that sense, there's this little game night room which asks for a whole lot of stuff. So it wants to remain on screen, although that widget's not supposed to do that, but that's fine. But yeah, it also wants to send and receive a bunch of different events, which will make a little bit more sense in a second here. So this is just like a simple card game thing where on my other screen, it is asking for a whole bunch of information. And if I just sort of play the game a little bit, it's asking for a whole lot of information. And if we just take a peek at the event, it sticks a bunch of stuff onto the actual text event, which is being passed between the widgets. So there's no actual backend to this. It's just asking through the chat room for cards and that sort of stuff. And if I just quickly win the game, you can do a little bit of point scoring and that sort of stuff. But yeah, widgets have a lot more stuff now. This is just a little bit of it. And I think I managed to go through all of that a little bit too quickly. But are there any questions?
I don't think there's any questions, Travis. Thank you. Thank you very much. I look forward to playing you at cards later on. Bruno, are you ready to talk about Matrix.to? It might just be good to remind those that don't know what on earth Matrix.to is and why we'd need it.
Right. Hello, everyone. Matrix.to is sort of our gateway to Matrix, where you can create links to your user profile or a room or a community, send that to somebody else, and that will help them onboard onto Matrix. And we recently released a few improvements to it, which I would like to show you now. You can either create Matrix.to links in Element by sharing the room or the user, or you can do it on the Matrix.to website itself. So if you type in any matrix identifier here, you can just create the link. And then I will show you the preview of it. To not leak your IP address to third-party servers, we ask you for consent before loading the preview. And now it's steering the user more towards just continuing here, so you get the best user experience. Then we contact the server for the preview with a nice loading animation. So this is the preview for the hydrogen room. You get, so to open that room, to view it, you need a Matrix client. And here we present a list of all the Matrix clients that are available on your platform. For now, let's pick Element. So if you click this, it will try to open the desktop app by default. I'm going to cancel this now, but if I would allow this, it would just open an Element desktop and you'd be on your way. If this doesn't open, then it means you haven't installed Element yet, and you get a download link for your platform, or for a client like Element, which also has a web version, you can just continue in your browser. So that's the new onboarding flow. I also want to show you another link. Can you let me open this link? So you can also change the server you're previewing with. There's a little bug I just noticed here, but you can. So if you create an element share link, several servers are included. So you can pick the server here. These both won't work now, so it will just default back to matrix.org for now. But you can also change the client once you've picked one. We've got nice little store links. For Linux, you get flat help links. And then lastly, we also made it a bit more mobile friendly. So if you look at this on Android, let's say Pixel 2, you get, we don't try to open it in the app yet, because on Android, if you open a Matrix.to link, or on iOS for that matter, it would open straight away in the app if you have it already. So we assume you don't have the app installed, and we show these install buttons straight away without any continue. So that will, if you click this, it will take you to the store, and then you install it, and then you can go again to the website, and it will just be open in the app. Those are the main improvements. Any questions?
What's the status of the various handler on the apps, being desktop, or so we can get the link directly?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
I guess you are using some, I would say, element :/ or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I was just asking what was the status of implementation on the different platforms.
So we can open them natively, but the way we do it depends on the platform. On iOS, app.element.io is intercepted. On Android, we use, I think we also switched to that. We could also use, depends on the platform, basically.
And for Android, it's currently in the process of being to support correctly the Element custom scheme.
Okay, thanks.
On the next release.
Yeah, eventually we will want to support a matrix URL scheme, and Matrix.to should integrate nicely into that. The client list would, be a bit different then, but for now, this is the way we're going to do it. I think Matthew wants to say something, but he's muted.
No, sorry, Andy and I panicking about something.
Any more questions?
All right, and this is live right now.
Yep, it is.
Okay, go try it out, folks.
It's really cool.
Halfshot is up next to show us his Slack migrator. Halfshot told me with 5 minutes to go earlier today that he had just got this demo in line, and it was just got it on the dot. But I told him the wrong time for this session. So as far as I'm concerned, Halfshot, you've just spent the last 30 minutes perfectly serene, meditating, probably super chilled, and I'm just fascinated to see what this effect has had on you.
I think the timeline might have thrown me off, so it's broken again in the half an hour. I've had to try and fix it, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be fine. Yeah, so I want to go a bit of history on the project just quickly. We had a HipChat migrator back when HipChat was in its death throes. And it was pretty standard. It was pretty rubbish. Basically, it all did it in a single process, but the same process that was shared with the actual hosting platform. And we could do a lot. We're going to do a better job of it. This is our chance to redeem ourselves and do a better job of migrations. This system is much more robust, much more compatible with other platforms. We're starting off with Slack, but we're going to go to others. So we have a new panel in the hosted platform, which is migrations. You can see here you have a list of buttons to migrate to Slack, as well as previous migrations you might have done before. So, for example, if you want to go back and check a previous migration, you've got a whole list of what's already happened. You've got reports on how your migration went and all this information you want to have. So basically, that's a new improvement on our old system. The actual migration itself is basically clicking this button, and you now are given this page, which tells you how to export from Slack into EMS and also the limitations of our export at the moment. But basically gives you a nice friendly wizard on how to get started. You then choose your host you want to use, which we're going to use migration demo staging. So if I try and find my export file, which is going to be export.zip. So this then does the first task, where it starts processing the export file. So this basically takes all the Slack data out of it and then passes it into a common matrix format for then importing into your home server. So basically any platform out there has an export system of some kind. And what we do is we sort of put that through like basically the pasta machine, and out comes a common format you can use to export anywhere you like, which makes it very easy just to support new platforms as they slowly die off. I guess that's our plan, is to catch platforms as they die and then support them into EMS. But anyway, so then you end up with this page, which sort of gives you a summary of your data. So we've got 40 rooms to be migrated. They're 40 group rooms, so there's no DMs. We've got 14 users, 63 files. You've now got a simple and an advanced view. So if you've just joined, you don't really care too much. You just want to get things into the system. You just tick these boxes, which are migrate files, send welcome emails, store user password, basic settings. You can also click advanced view, and then you can drill down precisely into the data you're importing and then choose which rooms you actually want to import. So you might not want #heck. You can just remove that room and it doesn't get migrated, but the option's all there for you. In the future, we'd like to make this like a CSV file thing, which you can then export, send off to your data analyst or your lawyers, and they can remove rooms they don't want and then import it back in. But for now, it's one of these crappy web forms, but it won't be for long. But we're going to go to simple view for now because it's much easier to read. And so once this happens, we're then going to start importing the data, which might work this time. There's a 50-50 chance, which I think is good odds. So we're going to have a go. So this is our progress screen, which is quite cool because the way it works, it actually uses a matrix room to sync the state between your browser and the migration process. So the migrator in the background that's running in Docker is actually talking to an internal matrix room that sends the state to matrix hosted, which then syncs it to you. So these progress bars, when they eventually start moving, will say, hey, you're syncing between this home server and here's what's currently happening. Basically, this came to me in a dream. Basically, we're saying, how do you sync data between your browser and the Docker process somewhere else in the world? Because have we got a system for that? Is there a protocol for that? I mean, there is Matrix. Maybe we could use Matrix for our Matrix importer. So if this actually does it migrate and actually work, then you'll have data. I'm a bit worried that our re-provisioning times will exceed the demo time I've got to do this. So what I'll do is I'll keep talking until sometimes you just stop. And then if it doesn't export, you'll just have to pretend it did export.
Can I ask a question in the meantime?
Yes, questions are good. Yeah.
The zip file that you would get out of Slack, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Currently, Slack are very cruel and they only give you public room data. They don't give you private rooms or DMs. But we're working on a system to pull it out anyway through the use of the bot API. So we're hoping maybe for the first few weeks of this thing up, we'll use public rooms. Then in the future, we're going to give people the option to export their private data. I imagine it's GDPR reasons why they can't just give you everybody's data because, snooping laws and so on. But we would like to have that ability. So we'll see if this works. There's also a progress bar that keeps you on your toes so you know it's actually working. Oh yes, if you refresh, it now actually comes back. The old migrator would immediately stop working if you refreshed your browser, which was a problem because people sometimes close their browser. Shockingly, this system now actually retains the state between sessions, so you can actually send this link to somebody if they're also logged in and see this in real time. There we go. So it's progressing. We've created users. We're now creating rooms. This bit, I should also point out, this is using an app service to create the history. in that you create a room, and then the timestamping system, we basically, when you create history for each of these rooms that it's migrating, it will use the hacky synapse method of attaching a timestamp to messages. Matthew's actually got an MSc out there, which is for importing history, which everyone should go look at and comment on, because it will give us a much better way of doing history migration than slapping a timestamp on messages. Like, it will give you proper DAG insertion and all that kind of thing. But for now, we're sort of using the hacky system of importing history. I should also point out, we first create the users, then we create the rooms, and then when that's done, we then send welcome emails to every single person that's been migrated saying, hey, here's your username, here's your password. I would show you this, but my only email I've got actually has my password in it. So for the sake of not, doxing myself, I won't give you my email address. I won't give you my email to log into the system. But basically, yeah, everybody gets an email which tells them how to log into it and start chatting. So fundamentally, the system means within about 10 minutes of starting, you can have your entire Slack workspace on Matrix very, very quickly. Everyone gets a login. Everyone starts chatting. It's pretty cool. I mean, frankly, it's a really quick way to get yourself onto Matrix without the headaches of trying to migrate your data across, because it just does it for you. I think I'm probably out of time, but I will publish a screenshot.
Why don't? Are there any questions? First of all, if there's any questions, because we're tantalizingly close. I love your slide telling me.
It's going. It's trying to make it go faster, but we can't put any more resources into it.
I was wondering, could you, would it be natural to use this together with the Slack bridge? Like, once you've migrated over and people still.
That's the secret project, in that it's currently written on a napkin, in that all the Slack rooms will publish some room state to identify the rooms. And so when you hit the migrator, it'll go, oh, I know this room already, because it's got some state telling me what room ID it is and so on. And then it would seamlessly migrate your users across, using the data it already has. But that is a sort of secret project I've not even talked about anybody, but it's an idea that basically it's very easy to link these rooms up. So you could, just pick a Slack bridge room and link it into your import. That could be a thing we could do.
Very, very cool.
I realize I'm now trying to give myself more work to do. I should start talking about that.
Not a secret project anymore, Half Shot.
Only the rest of the Matrix speaking world. Any other questions? Since this is very nearly done, it might actually work.
I'm a concerned user that's store user passwords. What does that option do?
So there is an option to either email people their passwords and say, hey, I don't want to see the passwords of my users. I just want them to get the password in an email. Or if you're a concerned IT admin, you might just want to have them all stored in a JSON file and email them to personally using your own system. So you've sort of got the option as an exporter, how you do it.
I see. So it's a privacy feature. Okay, that's cool. Thanks.
Yeah. We're trying to be very careful about this. Ideally, we wouldn't use passwords. We'd use magic URLs to just give people logins rather than sending passwords out. But there are some limitations to various backend systems. But hopefully in the future, we won't have passwords at all. This is looking like it might work, which is very exciting.
You're using great game mechanics to make this to stretch your demo slot out here at Half Shot. I'm impressed.
I thought the full progress bars might do it.
Are you going to show us? Are you going to show us something once this has happened?
Yeah. I can probably prove that it actually logs in. I can 30 seconds just prove it actually works. This isn't all like smoke and mirrors. If I just show you some other things that also shouldn't be showing you. There we go. That looks reasonably safe. If I just pull a login out of this and then hit a
so assist did something, and then we're going to switch to Will.
Yeah.
The other one.
So if I hit this box, this is one I created earlier because I actually have the email for this, but it's the same system. Assuming it's going to let me log in. If I type Will H, I log in as me. And then I go system alerts. So I basically have all my rooms here, pre-created. Here's a great one. So all the stuff is here. We've even got Mr. Horsey and everybody else in the room. And people are actively typing because they've all got their logins. Look at that. My entire user base has all got their logins and they can start chatting in my new Matrix community. It's brilliant.
Good.
So there you go. It works. Sorry for taking your time.
Thank you. Right. Will, are you out there?
Yes. Hello. So
welcome. This is your first time on Matrix Live demos. I should introduce Will. Will is our new tech writer. He's been with us the past month and a bit. And we've been working furiously on the spec, and he's going to tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I'll share my screen. Can you see it? Okay, so yeah, I've been working on building a new platform for the Matrix spec. So the spec currently looks like this, and the current state of the new spec platform is like this. So it has some things the old spec doesn't have. It has, which are, a lot of them are like just navigational elements. So over here on the side, there's like a little sidebar thing that shows you all the different spec documents, like the different APIs and room versions and appendices and stuff. And then underneath it, there's a table of contents that doesn't disappear when you scroll down the spec. It stays there, so you can find stuff. It has syntax highlighting. It has like permalink anchors that work properly and don't get hidden by the header. Yeah, so that's it, really. Short demo. It's built as a Hugo site, and I guess I could show you what it looks like inside. So it's just a GitHub repo. The most important directories in here are content, which contains all the actual spec prose, which is in Markdown. And the other directory of interest is data, which has got all the OpenAPI specifications, and it also has the event schemas. And those things are, those things just like accessed by the templating engine in Hugo as YAML data. And then there's another directory called layouts, which is where all the templating code lives that turns the YAML stuff, mostly it turns the YAML stuff into rendered HTML. And that's it. I guess this week we got it to a point where I'm keen to get like deep feedback from people spending proper time with it and finding things that they don't think they can live with, so we can get it to a point where we're happy for it to be the replacement for the old spec platform. And yeah, so unless anyone's got any questions, then I'm done.
When will it be launched?
Well, it'll be launched as soon as we're happy to live with it full time. It's live now, so at the moment it's being published via Netlify, so you can access it on the web now. But it's not the spec yet. It doesn't. It has like a Netlify joke URL at the moment, because that's what Netlify does unless you pay them. So, but it is live on the web, and you can play with it now if you want to.
Looks great.
Cool. Yeah, it does. I think Will's played down quite a lot of the thinking and work that's gone into some of the design decisions there, and he's basically created a whole new sort of backing engine, so we can work on it that much more efficiently over time. And so yeah, it looks really cool, and so expect to see that move from what's, I think, pretty excellent right now, get some feedback, tweak it a bit more, and then hopefully pretty soon we can turn that into the spec, and that can provide a new baseline.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I should also say that there are going to be some style changes to it. So Dina's been working on making it look nicer, and I'm going to be working on applying those changes in the next week or so as I deal with people's feedback as well. I think it's also the case that it should be a lot easier to work on this spec, and the whole kind of tool chain for building it and publishing it is just like a whole lot simpler. There's just a lot fewer moving parts, which I think will be better. I think there were places in the old spec platform where we kind of couldn't make changes because it was hard to understand where you had to change stuff. And I think that should get a lot easier in the future.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Will.
Valère from the mobile team, he's en français. He will be talking about the mobile improvements. These include things like invites, invite friends, the empty room states, some of the stuff that's been in web, but is coming out on mobile. And then the Gitter bridge has been getting regular updates. So we're going to hear from Eric Eastwood, who is Mad Little Mods on Matrix, and he's going to show us what he's been doing. So first of all, we have Valère.
Hey, mec, allons-y. So yeah, we'll be demoing. Let me share my screen. Okay. So yeah, tell me if you can see my screen.
I think so.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to demo the recent changes we've done on. I mean, it's cross-platform changes. We are trying to improve the newcomers' journey in Element to help them find their friends and set up their accounts. So we're going to look at this emulator first. So as you can see here, we've improved the empty screens with something a bit more, I don't know, vibrant. So a part of these changes are new things, and we have also some feature that weren't on Android. So for example, when you try to create a new DM, previously on Android, it was only trying to find your existing contact. So it was not a search, it was a filter, and people expect this to search. So now if you type here, it will search transparently. So you will see people here that are on the user directory. As you may know, not everyone is here. It depends on your privacy settings. So I can also type a full matrix ID. Sorry. And it will resolve it. So here I can find Valerian, my personal synapse. Another thing we added is the invite friend flow. So it is at several places in the app. So basically, it allows you to send a message to one of your friends, whether by text or mail, or what you want. So it's sending, hey, talk to me on Element, and it's sending the Matrix.to link. So I can access it from here, and I can access it also from the setting. So we make this action a lot more visible. So what happens if I do that? So I will show you. Basically, you will receive a text, an SMS with this link. Hey, talk to me. We have been improving the Matrix.to website. So this is what you will see if you open the link. Previously, it allowed you to open the web element. But if you reach this page, that means that you don't have yet the application. So now the most visible option are the install button for the client you want to use. So where it's an Android, on Apple, you will have the install on App Store. By the way, this is the Matrix.to project. If you want your client to appear here, just go to the GitHub and add a PR. And so what happened when I click this link in app? So I will show you. So for example, if I tap on this link, so it will ask me to open with Element. And you can see here that I can start chatting. So I just have to click this, and now it will create the room and invite the other user. Another change that you can see here is that you have a new room creation tile. So it's explaining you a bit the context of this room. So this is for DM. If I create a new room, so let's say I'm going to call it test room. Okay, let's create. So we have also more option here. It's a new thing we added. So I created the room, and you can see here that I have some direction to make this room more useful and discoverable. So it offers me the option to set up an avatar for the room. It would be really useful when I try to find it. And I have also a shortcut to invite people. So really, we're trying to help newcomers. Another thing, we also added a new, I mean, it's probably the fastest way to add someone on Matrix now. It's a pro tip. So if you open your profile here, you have this QR code icon. So basically, it's creating a QR code to add someone. So as you can see here, it's my code. And I can, let's say I meet this person here. You just have to open his profile, and I can see his code, and I can scan it. So it's the emulator, so I'm not going to scan. I think this emulator is kind of frozen. So you can just try to find that people and open the camera. You can find the link also if you open, regular element. If you go into your element and you click on the profile, you can see the QR code here. So you can scan it the same way. You can also access your gallery. Let's say you took a screenshot of the person QR code. So here I have one. So I click it. It will find it. And you see I can start chatting with Manu. And that's it. I'm in a room and we can chat. I don't know if Manu is there. And yeah, but pretty much that's all for the newcomers improvements. So it's going to be released next week. As you can see on web also, there are changes. You have direction, how to set your avatar and to how to create your first message and how to explore rooms. And so that's all for the changes on Android.
That's great. Thank you, Valère. I especially like the QR code pro tip, and I hope that the next time I meet somebody in real life, I remember that feature's there, because it's come out at just the wrong time, I guess. But it's a really cool feature to have available. It would be really useful at we go to these conferences and get people to install Element, and then you have to go through the rigmarole of getting them on. So this would really help with that. Thank you. We have one demo left. One more presentation of the day from Eric. Eric, as we know, has been working on Gitter, and he has been he's been making a bunch of improvements, which he's now going to present.
Okay. All right. Can you see my screen now?
We can.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. Sorry about that delay. So I'll be showing off the Gitter bridge again. And last time we just showed off messages going back and forth, but now we have lots more features like message edits. And then you can edit that. And I'll pop over to Matrix, same on this side. And then we'll fix that typo, I guess. And then that comes over there. You can also delete messages. Let's go that. And that deletes. We can go from this side, delete. And that gets deleted. We can also transform the mentions. So if I type a message over here and I want to message that Gitter user, if I reply to them, you'll see that the mention transforms from this matrix ID over to the Gitter mention. So the person will get the notification and email whenever you message them. We can also thread off any of the messages, and then that'll come over as a reply on the matrix side. And if you reply over here, it'll go over to the threaded conversation on the Gitter side. We also upgraded the flares. So instead of this giant matrix badge that used to be here, we now have tiny matrix logo badges to the right, which everyone was commenting on the issue about. So we iterated on that. Now all these features are available in production, but you can try this out for yourself in the testing matrix bridge room, which is bridged over to this alias, where you have better aliases in the works. But this is what's available in production. If you want to follow the full progress, we have the GitLab Epic, which links all these issues that we're working on, and hopefully next week we can open it up to more rooms across Gitter. That's it for this demo.
It's looking awesome.
Yeah, it's
Super
really cool.
impressive. Yeah.
I also like the fact that you made a typo so that you forced yourself to do a live edit, which then recreated. Very stylish, Eric. I liked it. Thank you to our demoers.
That's the end, folks. We ran over by 3 minutes, which was at least an awful lot better than previous weeks. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for flying Matrix. If you're watching this on Matrix Live, see you soon.
Bye.
See you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.